Hi there, welcome back. How are you today? Just checking that it's recording. So in this beautiful video, we wanted to talk to you about your path. I decided to come back to recording the videos after I reread the latest book many times. I've read it 3 times again before sending it to the publisher, because I felt like I had lost that path, that information. Not lost it, but I strayed away from it, you know. My beautiful team has me so busy creating all these courses at the moment, and we're nearly done. The self-love one is the one, and then I can, you know, move on to doing other things. But they really wanted those courses up and running to facilitate, you know, because they know, my team knows that there'll be people that needs this beautiful information. But in this gorgeous video, what wanted to come through is your path. This has been coming up a lot in the latest book, and for me, you know, as I'm working through, I wanted to come through with a new energy, with a different energy this time around to what was coming through before. You know, so I wanted to expand, to shift, you know, my beautiful energy back to where we were heading originally, and that is to expand. Now, each path is unique. Each path is different. Your path is not the same as mine. My path is not the same as yours. I can definitely vouch for that. So, because I'm constantly bombarded, right? And this gorgeous information only came through, I mean, I've had this information for a while, but what came through in the last few days that I was like, relief and release, you know, is that so many times I see and I hear and I read that to be in a spiritual space, we must be still. A stillness needs to occur, right? I see this all the time. I hear it all the time. And yet, in all this time that I have been creating all of this through my spirit team, not once have they told me, slow down. Not once have they told me, be still, to receive information. Why? Because this is my path. So it was through this gorgeous conversation with my friend in New Zealand, and we were bringing this backwards and forwards of how she does things, because she's the opposite. She has to be still, you know, and she goes through years where, like the last, we got together again. I'm trying to think. We spent 25 years apart. We met, right, when I first came back to Australia, and I was working in this office in the city, and we met and we worked together there for about 6 years. And since then, it was 25 years. We didn't talk to each other. We didn't see each other. You know, lives diverted, you know, into different paths. And when I had my awakening, and I'm trying to think what book I was up to. I think it was Easy Mind, Easy Life. Our paths crossed again, and we found that we were in the same place. We were both awakening. And at that time, at that point, we both felt very alone. We couldn't talk to anyone about this stuff, and we didn't have anyone. We just felt so alone and unsupported, you know. And I hadn't started the When Love Leaves, which is the Reiki, when I started talking to my beautiful team, right? And at that time, when I found her again, you know, she would go through these stages every year throughout the winter, right? This is what happened. We found each other again, and we were once a week catching up. We were doing a FaceTime where we could see each other and we could talk, and it was so wonderful, you know, that I had my friend back, because I loved her, you know. And anyway, so, you know, we had that for a couple of months, and then she was like, you know what, I need my space. I need to, she does this thing called hibernate, like the bears, in winter, and she took 3 to 4 months off. Right? That she just didn't want any communication. She needed to go within and be still. And in that time, I felt really lost, because I thought, oh, now I don't have anyone to talk to about the stuff I'm going through, this awakening stuff, right? And it was through that, when she took those few months off to go within and be still and do what her process, what she does, It was through that I started Reiki. I started doing that beautiful course with Melissa Crowhurst. And it was through Reiki that I finally had this firm team, right? My spirit team was built through that course. You know, they started to appear and we started to have this gorgeous communication. And, well, you know, they've been here ever since. They've been here the whole time, but that was when I first started to awaken to them, to allow them in again, you know? So anyway, my team came in. I had time for all of that now because I wasn't always with my friend, talking to her and us, you know, with our experiences and all the stuff that we were going through. And so I was able to do that through Reiki, you know. But at the time, without her, I felt really lost. And the next year she did the same thing. Come winter time, for the 3 or 4 months or 5, whatever, over winter, I have to go within. I have to be still. I don't want to talk to anyone. I'll see you on the other side of it, right? And again, I was like, okay. But the second time was easier, you know. But the first time, because now I had my team. The first time, I didn't have anything. But the way I look at it is that it was meant to happen that way. Because she removed herself from my life, was that I was open now to let this beautiful team come in. You know, I looked for something else. The word healing kept coming in. I followed guidance again. And then the magic unfolded, you know. So this is what happens. Those few months that she was away, I was like, oh, so lost. But then it made space for all of this to happen. I may not have even looked into Reiki if I was too busy with my friend all the time, you know, with our awakening. Because we did a lot of talking backwards and forwards. And we do the FaceTime once a week on the Wednesdays, but all through the week we were sending each other messages and listening, you know, to each other. So we were busy with our conversations with each other. You know, we're so happy to find each other again. But for her, she finds her answers, her guidance in the stillness, in going within and shutting out the outside world. And I've never needed to do that. That's not part of my path. It's perfect for her, but it doesn't work for me. Not once have I been asked in all the time, from when I first started writing the books to now, which is like, trying to think, 2017 was when I published the first book. 2016 was when I started writing it, because it took a whole year to get it all together. So from 2016 till now, what's that, 9 years? Not once have I, even when I pull my tarot cards, you know, to do the spread to see what comes up, what information comes up, I never get the card, be still. And I've gone through the deck and there is one that says, be still. And yet I never get that card, you know. So it's not part of my path. So for all of you out there, we are all here on a unique path, on your own path. They're all different. And the most important thing, and I've said this many times before, but I will keep saying it many times again, no path is better than the other. The homeless person that sits on the curb, their path is not better than the millionaire that sits in the mansion. They're different paths. It's so important that you get this. So important, because the moment that you do, you will begin to cherish your path. You will begin to see that everything that you have been through, you were meant to go through. This is your path. It's sacred to you, to your soul. Every experience you've had is sacred, is divine, is perfect, because it's your path. So, my beautiful beings, what will you do with this gorgeous information today? You know, for me, once I realized that, I understood, oh, my husband has his own path. My daughter has her own path. My mother has her own path. Their own experiences that they came here to have. And it's not for me to judge that it's right or wrong, or it's good or bad. My job, and I only have one job, is to focus on my path. What is my path? What does my soul want to experience? What is it hoping to gain from what I go through, from what I've been through? What was it trying to gain? This is your job. Each and every one of us. It's not about, oh, you know, what my partner's doing. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, that's bad. Worrying about what's right or wrong for them or your children. Especially if you have teenage children or older. They have their own path. Who are you to judge that it's right or wrong or good or bad? However that path looks. It's what that soul came here to experience. So, my beautiful beings. You know, and it's funny because as I think of teenager, for some reason, I received this vision of teenagers that take drugs, of teenagers that commit suicide, of teenagers that go through all of that, you know, and I could have been one of them. Not the drugs, but the suicide. Towards the end of my teen years, I just went into depression and I just didn't want to be here anymore. And within me was the belief that my mother didn't love me. I believed that with all my heart because that was serving my human experience. It was serving my path. I needed to have that belief for my path. You see? But for those of you who are unclear, you see, what my belief was, my mother didn't love me. So if this is something within you, if it stirs something within you today, talk to your kids. Let them know that you love them. Ask them if they know that you love them. This is a question I ask my daughter quite frequently, and she asks me, and it's always a yes. You know? But that is something that sometimes leads to depression and suicide, that we don't know within ourselves that we are loved by the people that love us. Our parents. When we come into the world, our parents are everything. As children, our mum, our dad, they're everything. And to feel, to believe within yourself that the person that brought you into the world doesn't love you, doesn't want you, it's not easy. So, my beautiful beings, what was coming up for me in the last few days, for my path, that when you go through that, you know, your mum doesn't love you and she brought you into the world. What does that mean about me? What does that mean? Who am I then? I can't be loved. If the person that brought me into the world can't love me, I can't be loved. You lose trust in this life. You know, a few days ago, I was just going through my trust issues. You know, do I trust completely? And in my heart, I heard a no, not yet. Because to surrender, we need to trust completely that we are supported, that we are loved. So in that moment, I knew that there was still something holding me back. And it took me back to that moment, you know, that if I spent all those years believing that my mum didn't love me, how can I trust that I am supported and I am loved? And the trust, I guess, was lost when she started smacking me and she started yelling at me, and all of a sudden I didn't feel safe. So I didn't trust that I was in a safe space. The people that bring you into the world are creating an environment that doesn't feel safe. For me, this is where I lost trust. That I wasn't safe. But we are safe. This place was created for us. You know, it's just seeing all those little patterns that we created to have this beautiful human experience. Understanding why we put them there, what they were meant to create in our lives, what the soul was looking to gain, always. For me, it's always, what was my soul looking to gain here? What was the knowledge? What was the wisdom? And when that's resolved, then the energy can shift. Then the energy can surrender, because it now trusts. It trusts that it is safe. It trusts that it is loved. It trusts that it is supported in every moment. All right, my beautiful beings. This is your path and your path alone. And only you have the information for your path. Nobody else has it. And we do not have the information for the path of others. We're not given this. Because it is not about them. It's about you. It's not about them. They have their information. Spirit has them. Source, God, whatever you want to call it. God has them. Just as God has you. So in the next video, there was something else coming up that I wanted to share. We'll put it in there. All right, my beautiful beings. We love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. This is your life. This is your path. And only yours. And it's unique. Just as you are unique. So don't compare it to anything else. It's like comparing two flowers in a garden. Comparing two roses and their scents. Each is unique. Each is beautiful in its own way. All right, my beautiful beings. Bye for now.